And one of the biggest things that you've done since we talked, on top of winning the championship, is that Royal Rumble appearance. Of course, we have to get to that. Joe, I was in the audience. I was in the press box, all the way at the top, skies in the heavens, right? And this view of watching all of these people, it's like this bowl full of people, right? And everybody was singing your song when you came out. Wow, Joe, I felt so happy for you, like seeing that happen. But what was that moment like? Like you're waiting the 10-second countdown, your music's about to hit, you're about to walk out, you get out there, you do your bit, but then on top of that, there's all these people. Talk to us about what you felt like before you walked out there and once you walked out there.
I'm not going to be able to do a good job of explaining the feeling because I still haven't processed it. It was just so overwhelming and so awesome. And, I've seen the clip back a bunch of times. And also it's so cool to watch it and just see the TNA championship in that environment as well. And, just when I kind of like took the belt off and put it on the shoulder and then ran just really cool to represent TNA at the Royal Rumble, and to be able to interact with the people that I did. There was a moment where I was like, right, I am literally. So let me put this into perspective for you, right? In March of last year, it had been almost a year since I'd been on a TNA pay-per-view, and here I am in January as the TNA World Champion, wrestling Roman Reigns in the most watched wrestling PLE, I believe, of all time, with it, because it was on Netflix in the UK and Peacock. I'm told that it was the most watched PLA of all time. So I'm going, you're now in a situation where you're wrestling Roman Reigns in the Rumble as the TNA World Champion. To speak that sentence, it does feel a little ridiculous in the best possible way. So I still haven't processed it. It was awesome. The advice I was given by Shane Helms, actually, who was absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed working with Shane Helms, and something that he told me, and I actually, even though we're at odds from time to time, JBL told me as well, which is take a second to just take the moment in. He said, when you have your first title win, do that as well. And, there was a moment where I just was able to look at the arena and go, well, this is pretty cool, and it was the same thing at the Curtis Caldwell Center in Texas as well. I've been fortunate enough to have a few of those moments where you got to take it all in.
Were you nervous at all?
No. Which is strange because I usually get nervous. For some reason, I don't know why, I wasn't nervous for my title match or the Rumble, which is very unlike me. It was unsettling. I was like, I don't know why I'm not nervous. I'm usually nervous. I wasn't nervous for either of those.
I feel like it's actually a good thing, because I think sometimes, certain people, you get to this big moment, right? And sometimes the moment is too big for them, right? But I feel because you had done all of the work and the preparation and just everything to get to that point, that once you got to, what many would consider the mountaintop, you're just like, all right, steady hand, no nerves. This is what I worked for. And I have that confidence and that ability in myself to trust myself.
You're 100% right. The way I try and look at it and explain to people is it's like, what? Sometimes in life you just have to go out there and do the business, and it would those, the title win and the Royal Rumble were two of those moments for sure.
That moment with Roman Reigns, Joe, taking that spear. Unfortunately, you were eliminated, but dang, what a moment. I feel like if you were going to be eliminated by anybody, it being Roman Reigns, I was going to say that's not too shabby at all. Joe, how did you feel in that moment when you were in the ring with Roman Reigns?
What was strange was just that I felt I felt great. Well, obviously not the spear, but like the moment of us facing off in the ring, it is quite difficult to put it into words sometimes because, Roman has argument for, obviously there are other champions and things like that, but a lot of people believe that if not the top guy in the business. So for us to be face to face and for the fans to be excited about that confrontation, spoke volumes to me. Like I say, he threw me over the top rope. He didn't pin me. That's, the MMA equivalent, in my view, of losing 1 round in a 5-round fight. There's no shame in being thrown over the top rope by Roman Reigns. The guy, is arguably the biggest star in the industry. So I think people were excited by that. I was excited by that. And I think that, it's just, we're in an era of endless and unlimited possibilities. So that's what's very exciting about professional wrestling right now.
Now, there were a lot of things that obviously the fans got to see. Also, a lot of pictures and videos and things that were shared. What was your favorite moments that the fans didn't get to see backstage? Being amongst all of these people, what was your favorite moment or moments?
I really enjoyed being able to have an in-depth conversation with John Cena.
I was going to ask you if that happened, by the way.
Enjoyed being able to have a conversation with Cody Rhodes, someone who I've wrestled before, someone who was instrumental in helping me get my job with Ring of Honor. I enjoyed chatting with CM Punk. He had great advice for me. I enjoyed meeting Paul Heyman. I didn't want to assume that Paul Heyman knew who I was, but we had he did know who I was, and I didn't know. Sorry, he did know who I was, and we had a really good conversation. So that was a very cool moment for me. He's obviously just a legend in the business. So to be able to have a conversation with him is great. I enjoyed working with Shane Helms. I think we got on really well, and I think there were so many friendly faces, and I really enjoyed talking with everyone backstage, like the way that WWE and TNA have been working with each other. It's just been, with open arms on both sides. I just couldn't, I've been made to feel so welcome. I know that everybody has on both sides. So it's just been a phenomenal partnership. And, I was very grateful to be in that spot, because I know that there's hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people that would love to be in that spot, and there's many people who are also qualified to be in that spot, so I never take it for granted for a second. So I just, it was also nice to see a lot of the Scottish people that I came up with who are in WWE. I hadn't seen them in a long time, so it was just really cool to see them. That was very nice as well. It was just a very nice environment, and I think that it's been really cool to see TNA stars going over to NXT, and NXT stars coming over to us, and I think it's just brought tremendous value. And I'm very grateful for this, because I realize a lot of people don't get to have these opportunities. A lot of people give their lives to pro wrestling and they don't get to do this stuff. So I never want to take it for granted for a second.
Man, Joe, that's so awesome. I'm so excited for you. I was excited every time I saw new photos and things come out. I'm like, oh, there he is with Drew McIntyre. Oh, there he is with Logan Paul. There he is with this person. And that's been very, very cool to see the Triple H pointing picture. I'm like, dude, that happened. I'm like, this is great. You're just out there checking off all the boxes.
Yeah. I think what I really enjoyed about meeting Triple H is that you could just feel his passion for the business. And what was really awesome for me was I felt that he was excited for me to have that moment. So I think that's what's really nice as well, is it's so cool on a professional level, but even on a personal level, I just kind of got this sense that this legend in the business is really is excited for me to have this really cool moment.